Hey everyone, Daniel here, and here are 5 reasons why your cold outreach doesn't work. Reason number 1 is consistency. The first question you should ask yourself if you are not booking appointments is if you are consistent. If you are not consistent, there is no way that you are going to get great results, right? For that reason, if you are going to analyze your outreach system, the first thing you're going to look at is your tracking sheet. You're going to check how many messages you send every single day and if it's consistent. Because if you don't send messages every single day, you are not going to get good results every single day. If you are sending messages for the first 2 weeks, then the next 2 weeks you don't send any messages. Then let's say that you send messages from Monday to Wednesday, but on Thursday and Friday you don't send any messages. If you are not consistent, you are not going to get any appointments. So do it every single day, and that's it. Reason number 2 is you are not sending enough messages. So that's your volume. So the second reason is volume. You should be asking yourself how could you make and send more messages. Let's say that you send 100 cold emails and you book one appointment from that. If you send 500 cold emails, you are going to book 5 appointments. So that way, if your system is right and all the inputs are always the same, if you send 5 times more messages, you are going to actually book 5 times more appointments. And for that reason, if your cold outreach system doesn't work, and if you are not booking enough appointments, and if you are consistent, you are most likely not sending enough messages, right? For example, if you send 5 cold DMs that are very, very qualified every single day, that's just simply not enough to actually book decent amount of appointments. So try to send at least 20 cold DMs, 25 cold DMs every single day. And if you see results consistently for the first month and you booked around 3 to 4 appointments a week, then you can think about how can I scale that. For example, if you're sending cold DMs on LinkedIn, there are limits on the platform. And if you want to scale, you are more likely needed to hire more people. For cold emails, you are going to buy more cold email accounts so you can send more cold emails. If you have cold calling, all right, if you send 300 cold calls every single day, if you call 300 times a day, it means you are going to hire more cold callers, right? So if 2 cold callers are booking you 5 appointments, if you want to book 10 appointments, just hire 2 more of them. That's how it works. So every single time, try to think about how can I potentially increase the volume. The reason number 3 is follow-ups. If you don't book enough appointments, it means you don't follow up, right? So that's the reason number 3 why you don't book appointments. Follow-ups are very, very important. That's a very wrong understanding that if they were interested, they would book a call from the first message. No, no, no. That's not how cold outreach works. You should always follow ups with your prospects, potentially at least 2 times for the cold prospects and potentially 5 to 7 times for warm prospects. So let's say that you send a cold email to the person and he didn't even reply. It means you are going to send 2 more cold follow-ups. But if they have shown some kind of interest to your offer, it means they become warm. And after that, when they shown some kind of interest and they shown that, hey, that's something I would like to get, and after that, you should follow up 5 to 7 times. Because as I told you, they have shown some interest. So they actually have that problem and they want that to be fixed. For that reason, reach out to them every single time until you receive directly no, stop messaging me. Like the worst case scenario that may happen is you just receive a message, shut up, I don't want to receive any messages. And that's it. But in the best case scenario, if you send 7 follow-ups, he will book a call. And one additional follow-up is not that painfully to do, right? That's just additional, a little bit effort just to send 1 more message or just to call the person 1 more time. That doesn't take that much effort, but the amount of results that you get from that is insane. The reason number 4 is the results. You don't talk about the results. You talk about how, right? You are not talking about the end result they are going to achieve. Let's say that you actually work with marketing agencies and they want more appointments. They want more clients, right? Or let's say that you are talking to the plumber. They want more jobs booked, right? They don't care about local SEO. They don't care about cold emails. They don't care about how you are going to achieve that. They care about the end result. For that reason, all your messaging should be around the end result that they will achieve. For example, as I told you before, for plumbing companies, you should tell like, "Hey, Mr. Prospect, I want to promise you 10 water heater replacement jobs every single month." You don't tell about, "Hey, Mr. Plumber, I can put you on number one position in local SEO." They don't care about that. They don't care being number one in the Google. Yes, they may see the value from that, but most of the time they don't care about that. They want more jobs and they don't care how you actually achieve that result. They just want the end result. For that reason, never, never, never talk about how. Never do it. Okay? Never talk about how. Talk always about what they are going to achieve. Okay? So reason number five is your offer, right? So if you are consistent, if you send enough messages, and if you follow up with the prospects and you talk about the end result that they are going to achieve, but you still don't book the desired amount of appointments, it means your offer sucks, right? And how to make sure that your offer is actually great? Great offers consists of three main parts. Part number one is your offer has to be tangible, right? If your offer is not tangible and you promise, I will book you more appointments, they don't care about that. They care about the exact amount of jobs that you are going to receive, that you are going to deliver. Because let's say that you are going to promise them a plumbing company is 10 booked jobs every single month, right? So 10 jobs a month. They are more likely to understand and get direct value from that. They can understand that, okay, from every single job, I get around 700 to 800 USD in profit. So it means that from their service, I'm going to get additional 7K in monthly profit, right? In profit. So when your offer is tangible, they can see direct value from that and they are more likely to respond to you. So that's the reason number one. But if you promise, hey, Mr. Plumber, I will generate you more appointments, I will generate you more jobs. More is what? How many? How many appointments? How many jobs? They want exact numbers so they can actually see the direct value and think about that. Then the second point is your offer has to get a time frame, right? You can promise 10 jobs, but you should tell when they are going to receive 10 jobs. For example, 10 jobs in 30 days. And as I told you, they will understand that from the first day of starting working with you, in 30 days, they will get $7,000 profit. So that way, you can actually say that, okay, I can promise to you 10 jobs and it's going to happen in 60 days. So you are going to promise like, hey, Mr. Prospect, hey, Mr. Plumber, I promise 10 high ticket jobs in 60 days. That's more likely to be actually good perceived for the plumber. And the part number three is the guarantee. When you actually do the outreach, you have to make sure that your offer has a guarantee. What's going to happen if you don't deliver the result? So let's say that the old example that, hey, Mr. Plumber, I will book you 20 jobs in 60 days. That's your main promise, right? But you should also tell what's going to happen if you don't deliver that result, right? Because plumber is going to pay you money. The prospect is going to pay you money. They want to make sure that you are going to deliver that. For that reason, guarantee is very, very essential. You need that. For example, so 20 jobs in 60 days. And if we don't deliver that, we are going to refund you plus send additional 100 $1,000 as a apology. Okay, oops, as an apology. So that way they can see that, okay, you can deliver me 20 jobs in 60 days. And if you don't deliver that, you are going to refund me and send me more money. That's the kind of offer that's very stupid to say no to. And that's how it works. So if you have consistency, if you send enough messages, and if you follow up with the people, you talk about the end result, and you have a great offer, your cold outreach system is going to work. It doesn't matter about the tactics, about the messaging, about the templates, what you are going to use. You have to cover these main 5 principles. If you have everything covered, it doesn't matter where you send messages, how you send messages, you are going to get appointments. So, yeah, that's it. See you on the next video.